Hey guys, welcome to our Waste Not Wednesday, where we take junk or things that are falling apart and turn them into useful things that can be used as home decor or things that we sell in a shop. More recently, we've been selling everything because we're getting ready to move and we're not decorating our house as much. So today we are taking these two chairs, which we did a while back and made a bench. If you recall, do you remember the tops?
We used the non-broken ones, and these are the broken ones from the set.
So these are the broken ones. Repairing them would be time prohibitive. So instead of making a bench like we did the last time, Zeb cut them off. And we did that ahead of time because it's a little bit loud.
It's really loud. So I just took the jigsaw. You can take a number of different saws and just zip them down. But I just cut off right here on the edge so that we don't have this broken top. And I need these rungs out of the middle here because I have another chair.
We have a chair that's in perfect condition except for it's missing one rung.
This chair is missing the rung out of the middle.
So we're gonna go ahead and take this rung, put it in there, and then that chair will just get painted a fun color and put outside. And these we're gonna just make like an occasional bench or whatever that could be used on a front porch or at a small dining table or even in an entryway. But before we screw them together, what we learned last time was it's nearly impossible to paint in between this crack right here. So what we're gonna do is paint that side, then Zeb will screw it in together, and then we'll paint the rest of it.
Yep, because these chairs have just been sitting in the basement, and I'm like, we either gotta throw them away because they're super broken and not sellable, or do something with them.
And
So
you
here
know
we
us,
are.
we are not into throwing things away. So we're gonna be painting in aviary, which is DIY paint. Let's go ahead and wipe these down.
Okay.
Dining chairs are notoriously greasy and gross. I normally use like a spray cleaner, but we are out of clean washcloths, so Lysol wipes are where we're at.
Lysol wipes it is. They're great. They work so good.
And when you're using DIY paint, like we're gonna be using, you don't need to do like sanding or really anything like that. These are actually pretty dry, so I think the paint's gonna adhere really well. We got a new channel membership, Farrier Things. Welcome. Make sure you're hitting up that community tab. If you don't know where that's at, go to the Jami Vintage on YouTube, and across the top there's a gray bar. You'll see community. Make sure you're clicking on that, and then you'll get to see the members only posts that include our extra videos and our printables that we have every month that are available for reprinting and using for personal use, or up to 100 copies.
So on these, are you wanting to stamp or stencil the seats, or are we gonna leave them plain?
I mean, do we leave much plain in this place?
We don't leave much
I feel
plain.
like when you have this much flat surface, it's your responsibility to make it awesome.
To stencil it.
Yeah.
So weigh in now, because we're not to that point where we need to stencil. If you're watching live, let us know what you want to see as far as a stencil goes on here. We've got a few big stencils. You know what we haven't done is an all-over stencil where we've actually repeated the pattern.
Oh yeah, that would be fun. Let's do an all-over stencil, and I'll let you do it because you're a lot better at it.
We have a few though, so in a minute when we're done cleaning, I'll go grab some and we'll give you the options.
Okay, somebody said they need a Zeb. Actually, to be honest, if you had that saw that he used, it is super simple to make that cut. Now, where a Zeb comes in handy is I'm not super good with a drill. I can do it, but it takes a few practices. But
So
really,
this is the jigsaw that I used. Mine's cordless. Corded ones are pretty cheap. And I really just ran it right here along the side and just zipped these off. It took about 10 seconds per cut, even being really careful to make sure it was nice and level.
somebody, Farrier Things wants to know why these aren't on the sales floor. They're not on the sales floor for two reasons. One, the shop's not open. Two, well actually 3 reasons. 2, I haven't found out where I want to put them. And 3, this one needs a 9-volt battery. This one is actually working.
That one works. You can see it kind of slowly ticking over there because it ticks the seconds off.
That one would just need a battery.
We need a 9-volt on it.
So as soon as we open at 11, so I don't think people are going to rush the front door. As soon as we're done, Zeb's actually going to run to the store, grab a 9-volt, put it in there, and we'll have them up and on the floor because I think that they will sell.
So if you haven't seen the video, we did a whole DIY on how to get each look on these clocks yesterday, so check it out later.
For sure. And we also helped pare down Zeb's clock collection. I think we bought these clocks like a year ago.
So that one we got before we had the shop, so for sure a long time.
Well, this one too.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So Dining chairs are dirty and gross. That's why you clean them.
Dining
Look at
chairs.
that.
Good gravy, hold on. I guess I'm not quite awake yet. I'm not sick, I just can't talk. Dining chairs, dining tables, bar stools, all notoriously greasy things. And especially here in Utah, because I don't know if you guys know about Utah, but there's lots of large families, lots of kids, and kids are gross. I know because I have 5 of them. I love them dearly, but oh man.
Man, I've been trying to train Jack, like, he just spills all over the place, like little chips and pieces of things, and he leaves his wrappers for stuff just everywhere
teenagers I
he's
think
at.
are the worst because they're like, oh, I'm old, I can eat anywhere I want, and then they leave their stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a good thing they're cute. And I've learned that the grossness grows exponentially by the number of children you have, because eventually you're just like, you know what, one day they'll be out of here, I'll clean it up then. Laura says they wipe their hands on everything. I know, Jack will sit there. The other day he was drinking chocolate milk and he just goes like this with his arm, and I'm like, don't do that. Ugh. And I don't know why, but Harrington bought a bunch of suckers and he's been sharing them with his siblings, which is super nice, except for the fact that they're getting their sucker stuff. Like Jack, when he eats a sucker, just like rolls out the side of his mouth.
Well, they're the big, like the blow pop ones that have the gum in the middle. So then they have gum. Yay.
All right, I'm gonna get started painting. Did you grab paintbrushes?
I don't have paintbrushes. I forgot.
All right, I'm gonna take my sweater off today because those of you that watch me know that I'm notorious for getting paint on my sweater. I'm also rather short. Do we have a stool in here? I guess I can just stand up to paint. Zeb's grabbing me a paintbrush. We're gonna be using DIY paint in aviary. It is a good mossy farmhouse green. Yeah, so.
I'm gonna paint the top first so that we can get it drying so we can do the stencil.
No, so I'm gonna paint the inside so you can scroll together. So I guess
Okay.
we'll do the top and then the inside. Denise Shoup said she loves how the tops are flat. So these are usually classified as like the Mexican pine. They're hand carved from Mexico. It's where a lot of them come from. And I love them because not only are the tops flat, which makes for a good bench, but they're square. So they pair up nicely. Not all chairs are created equal. Many of them have they go like this. So that when you put them together, you have to put something in between to turn them into a bench, and it's kind of takes a long time.
So a while back, we made a broken chair into just like a regular, almost like a stool.
And it's still here.
It's still here, but we also made the top part. We turned that into like a little shelf situation, and the shelf thing sold.
Well, it wasn't a shelf, it had hooks.
Oh, yeah.
And that actually sold fairly quickly. So if you have a broken chair and you want to separate it into a stool, make sure you save the top, put some hooks on it, and then you can use a French cleat on the back, and then people can actually hang things from it. French cleats hold quite a bit of weight, more than a traditional hook, which is something you definitely want when you are making something for like a mud room or hanging a purse. We have a French cleat on an old mirror, and my kids hang all their backpacks on it, and it hasn't fallen out of the wall, which is surprising.
And it's not into a stud. I just have it into drywall because of where it had to be positioned.
Well, and the other day I saw Redrick. He was getting into his backpack and tugging on it to get inside of it, and I'm like, dude, if you need to get in your backpack, you need to pull it off the hook and then dig through it. But it's survived. I don't even know how long ago we did that. Maybe last winter, was it?
Yeah.
I think we did it shortly after Christmas last year, but it's held up.
Look how good that aviary covers.
And
Jamie's is on there thick. Maybe wipe that back so it dries before the video's over.
Okay, I like it. Well, I do it thick because I'm lazy and I don't like to do lots of coats.
Well, mine is nice and thin, and I didn't have to do lots of coats.
Well, look at you. There we go. Is that better?
It looks better, yeah.
If this was shinier, it wouldn't cover as good, but these are pretty dry chairs. So just keep that in mind when you're using DIY paint. Like the shinier it is, the harder it is to get coverage. All right, let's see if we got
Shinier is
comments.
in like gloss finishes, semi-gloss finishes, things like that.
Mary says, when her son was little, I threatened to sew napkins on his pants. Farrier Thing says, I finally got white wax and they love. Which
The white wax is great.
it's like crack. I just love it. Do you give them a cleat when they purchase the shelf? Yes. So what we do is we put one part of it screwed into the piece itself. The other part is screwed into the wall. So rather than unscrew and rescrew cleats, we have permanent cleats at the shop that we can hang from. And then I take an extra piece from another set and I put it in a Ziploc baggie and I tape that to the piece. Because the way a French cleat works is you have one piece that screws to the wall and one piece that screws to the piece, and then they just sit on each other.
I can show you, I have one over there.
I mean, it's pretty, they just go like that. So I just have one part to the piece and the other part is taped in a baggie, and then I leave one permanently on my wall.
So if you've ever seen any of our house tours, I made a French cleat by cutting 2x4 at a 45-degree angle down the length of it, and then I screwed one part of the 2x4 on the wall, and then when it meets up, it just sits on itself.
But you can also just buy them on Amazon or at the hardware store for much less expensive. The Amazon ones we buy aren't super long and they work really well for our projects.
Yeah.
And they're not they're much cheaper on Amazon. You can find them at the hardware store, they're just not as cheap. So I guess it depends if you need it right away or not. Let's see. Making sure I'm not missing any questions. Caitlin just posted the salvage window coat rack. So she posted the link in case somebody wants to see that. Have you ever just went to the thrift store and just missed a great buy? It just happened. Only every time.
Every time we see something in someone else's cart or that it'll have a tag as sold on there, and I'm like, ooh, man, I want that.
So now we've gone to getting up early so we can be there when they open on Saturday mornings, because Zeb's like, if we're gonna go, we want first dibs, although sometimes you still miss it because they pull out carts and somebody else gets it, or somebody just finds it before you.
Well, at our thrift store, when it opens, there's like 20 people waiting every morning.
Oh yeah, for sure. One of them being Molly's mom, so you got to beat her out on it. If you don't know who that is, Molly used to own this shop before we took it over, and she's actually just down the street. We're really good friends still, and her mom is always there, and she's really fun. Molly's daughter actually plays for our high school girls basketball team, our varsity girls, and they are currently undefeated, and they just finished quarterfinals and they're on their way to semifinals as an undefeated team. So we might have some girls basketball state champions from Lehi. We're pretty excited. Both my teenagers were there.
Yeah, they played up at the
University of Utah.
Yeah, University of Utah, so they went up and watched the game. It was fun.
Yeah, and the thing about Molly's daughter is she's like my Odelia, maybe even smaller. She's just this tiny little sprite, but she is fierce. I love watching her play. How do you not get attached to every piece you do? Because
we have other pieces that look similar to it at home. That's how.
Yeah. Also, I'm attached to money, and I can't make money if I don't sell furniture. So, yeah, it might be hoarder status too. Yes, Caitlin, this is aviary. That's what we're using this morning. Let's see.
So we were thinking, because this bench is probably going to go live outside until it sells. We're going to put it out every day, out on the sidewalk for people to see as they're driving by. And it may not last long. It's probably going to end up pretty cool. But we wanted to do like a spring color, but we didn't want it to be so in your face that it only works for spring, since it'll be something that'll probably be in people's homes all year round.
For sure, but now that the weather is nicer, we're gonna start putting things out to draw business in. We have a really busy street, and so we have a lot of people that will come in off the street because they see fun stuff outside. And actually, last year I actually painted out on the sidewalk when the weather was nice, and that like brought in a bunch of business because everybody that drove by was like, what is she doing? What is she doing? It's like 35 miles an hour out here. People drive between 35 and 40. So they're not going super slow, but they do drive by. So that
you can see our shop from a long way
little
down.
Pro tip, if you're on a busy street with your shop, don't be afraid to just throw a tarp out front and start painting, because people are interested in seeing what you're doing.
All right, I'm going to go grab those stencils. So
Okay.
give me just a sec.
I'm going to just keep painting away. All right, I'm going to move your brush though. Thank you. Everybody's saying hello, and Carrie says press the like button. Yeah, give us a thumbs up if you like this video, and subscribe if you guys haven't done so.
So real quick, this is a French cleat. So you screw one side on. So let's say I was going to hang this chair. I would screw this on right like that, and then this would go on the wall like this, and these pieces come up together and just ching. So that is a French cleat, and they make them all kinds of lengths.
Jana says no way she wouldn't stop if she had seen me outside painting, right? I tried it one day. I don't know where the idea came from. Well, I remember. The reason why I did it the first time was because I was painting a bench and I knew that the bench was going to be outside for sale. And so I thought, why am I going to haul that bench all the way inside just to haul it all the way out? So I took it out of my car, ended up waxing it, and then giving it some white wax. And it Corrigan Renee says the clocks look fantastic together. Thanks. I feel like they're kind of color coordinated. We use the same color of white swan mixed with crinoline for the outside. And then this one is apothecary and this is fun fresh. Those colors play very green. And this one is a little bit more blue. Oh, sorry, this morning. Linda Gilbert, super chat, thank you. Lunch money. All right, she said, thanks for being you with a little guy with a maraca. Thanks, Linda. Let's see. Michelle says we're keeping her. She just has a milk paint table she's working on. All right, I'm just making her. So but when we seal it, it will darken right up. We don't always get to sealing it while we're live on the channel. I might get sealed a piece that one finished.
All right, so I have some options for all over stencils here. Let's see if Jami can remember what she's named her own stencils, because I can't.
That's Celtic.
So this is an all over stencil. You can tell because they're square and they've got the plus on
It might be hard for them to see what they look like if you don't put something behind it.
They can see.
Okay.
I can see it. Okay. Maybe I'll grab something to put behind it.
Yeah, Zep's gonna grab something.
Oh, here we go. Here's a little pillowcase that'll work. Let's see if this helps them see it. Oh, yeah. Okay, so there's the design on that. That's an all-over stencil. Then we've also got this offering. What's this one, Jami?
Botanical.
Botanical.
I like botanical actually a lot.
We've used this a few times.
That one might be my absolute favorite. So
I don't know that that's really helping you guys see. It's reflecting a lot now.
No, I can see it on my phone. Okay. Everybody says they're looking for more clocks. I feel like it really helped. I mean, you could do one where it had the numbers, but in our case, what our advantage was that the numerals were on the outside piece, so the bottom, all we had to do was make it look cute.
All right, and then this one. Are you sure this one's not the botanical one?
No, that's like rose or something.
Caitlin will know. Put the links for these, Caitlin, please.
That's the rose one, if I recall correctly.
All right, so there that is. Okay,
if you're having problems with your internet, it's probably on your end because I'm watching it.
Although we have had a couple issues the last
but I'm
couple
watching
times.
it on my phone, so I can see what the replay looks like, and it's fine on this end. So maybe hop back out and hop back in and see if that helps.
All right, we'll wait a few
Everybody
minutes.
says botanicals are the winner.
Botanicals are the winner.
Joanne must have been able to see it fine because she commented.
All right.
Yeah, if it's buffering, make sure you hop out and hop back in because it's working on our ends. All
I'm
right.
gonna have to level these chairs out. They're a little wobbly.
Oh, is Caitlin says hers is buffering too. Well, there's not a whole lot we can do for it on our end because it's working. So, when am I coming to Athens, Greece?
Ooh.
I will take you to the cheapest bazaar there is. You know, I haven't even thought about going to Greece. Next trip is going to be the UK. We don't get out a lot on traveling because we have so many kids and we spend most of our time and a majority of our money on them and their activities. I feel like they have a million different things.
You wouldn't think wrestling was expensive, but by the time you add in all those tournaments and overnight stays at hotels, and he needed new shoes twice, and
I feel like wrestling
he
is
wore
more
through like
expensive than
some knee
football.
braces, and
Yeah, for sure.
and once he got his braces off, we couldn't get him to wear a mouth guard. I'm like, dude.
I know. Thank goodness he didn't have any teeth down his nose. I think I would have about strangled him. braces were about $5,000. Okay. Caitlin, I guess it was all buffering at the same time, but Caitlin hopped out and hopped back in, and she'll let us know if it does it again, but right now it's good. Odelia, it says, hi Odelia. Where's Odelia on here?
Where'd you go with the aviary?
Odelia, aren't you at school?
Yeah, but she's got in between class times.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, and
on
Odelia,
Wednesdays.
if you're watching the kitchen garbage, that's your chore, and it is in a terrible situation, so you better take care of that. I know you don't have cheer today, so you'll be home before I get home with the little kids, so make sure you take care of that. I'm sure you guys all want to know about our chore situation at our house.
All right, so my top is going to be dry here. I'll probably heat gun it here in just a minute, and then we'll try this all over stencil out.
It says, doesn't matter the sport, it's all expensive. That is true.
Yeah.
I feel like it just kind of depends on the sport, though. Like football, I think for us, football isn't too bad because our football team, like our high school football team, has a lot of sponsors and stuff, so they get a lot of things taken care of. Whereas like wrestling is like the armpit of Lehi sports, so there's not a lot of extraneous money coming in, and it doesn't make the kind of money that football does.
Yeah, football, they fill the bleachers up.
They don't even charge to get into wrestling matches, but football, yes. Sally says, you go, Mom. I take every opportunity to get my kids to do their chores. And definitely in our family, especially because Zeb and I work so much, everybody has something they have to take care of, and we all kind of work together, otherwise it don't happen. And we used to have somebody that cleaned our house once a week, but we stopped that once we bought the farmhouse because A, we're not even home that often during the day when they would normally clean, and B, we just wanted to take those funds and use them somewhere else. So, did I say armpit? I did. The armpit.
All right, I'm going to heat gun the tops real quick.
I'm going to work on that though, because Redrick likes wrestling too. All right, and I'll heat gun that. Do you want to work on screwing them together now that the inside's painted?
Yeah, I can. All right, so we're going to make a little bit of noise like we always do on Waste Down Wednesdays. Got the heat gun going, and I'm going to try to screw these together.
And I'm not going to worry that the insides won't get sealed, because they're really not going to see the light of day. I just wanted to paint them because it looks funny when you have paint that stops because you can't get your brush in there. Would you mind swiping the corner of that where it's built up there? Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to do this
I
side.
need to flip these around before I screw them together, though.
All right, let me.
Well, just stand there for just a sec. There you
All right,
go.
I'm here.
Okay, now I got the backs together. So this is just cedar fencing that I got from the hardware store, and it's not old. It's about ½ an inch, but I cut them down. I made a bunch of frames for signs out of this, and now I'm going to use the scraps that I have left over from that to screw these together. I might have to trim them down a little bit with the jigsaw, so you will get to see me cut a little with the jigsaw. But I'm going to do one here and one down here on both front and back, and I might do something that goes all the way across underneath, but we'll see. Where did the jigsaw go?
Renee's behind a firewall, so that makes a difference for her. Oh, what is the skitty pillow you can buy from IKEA? I don't think I have any. I don't remember. Are you talking about the insert? I have those, but I'm not sure.
All right, so just gonna set this on the end of the table here close. Let my tool rest on there. Make a little sawdust on the floor. All right, that'll be great. And I need something to mark with now.
I think the stencil will also help because these chairs are still, they've got some spots on them. I think that wherever these were, they got a lot of abuse.
They were loved by a family.
A busy stencil will help. The JRV sign is just on the floor. The Jami Ray Vintage sign that we normally have in the back, we take it off when we stage stuff. Alright, I don't know. I feel like that's mostly dry. Dry enough to stencil anyways. I'm gonna call that good. Alright. Oh, let's see. I already answered that. Tried paying for hockey and figure skating. I used to be
hockey is so crazy.
Yeah, I used to be a dance mom, competitive dance, which is year round. And I can tell you that since my girls stopped doing that, I can pay for every single sport that they want and still not come close. Now, what was I looking for? Oh, this box.
Okay, countersink bit. That's what this is here. It looks like this. It's got a 3/8 head up on the top, and then the bit itself is tapered so that it's not as thick all the way down. And if I don't countersink this, the screw will likely run all the way through with the head and split the wood. So that's why you countersink. I'm not going to go all the way in because I'm probably not going to plug these. So, oh, got away from me there. Bit in.
I'm just finishing up, touching up this piece from Saturday's waste not Wednesday. I didn't quite finish it, and I know that somebody was going to come in today and buy it. So I
gotta walk in front of the camera here. All right, so you see the head on this? This is the reason you do this. The head is tapered, and now that goes right in, and it's wide enough that it'll still bite on the threads. The head can sit in there without splitting that wood.
From Saturday.
Oh, you have your side project.
Yeah, it's also aviary, and since the pressure's wet, I was like, let's get that done, because Susan's going to come by it today, so I got to get this done and wax.
So Lori, I didn't do anything else with that peacock tapestry. I just left it. I decided to leave the void on there and didn't add anything extra to it. All right, I'm gonna real quick, just gonna drill some holes into these. Sorry, no one's on camera.
Sorry, I was on camera, just off to the side. I'm just finishing this up.
All right.
I'm gonna move it to the floor. I gotta multitask. Yesterday, we had a live video for our regular channel members. We shot this video in between for like after lunch. We did like 2 hours. Then we went live for our business coaching group. Then in the last like 30 minutes before I had to get kids, we finished these up, so I never got around to finishing that project. I thought I would.
See, this is what can happen if you force it. I pushed too hard and broke. So now I gotta cut another piece.
I feel like there's a few spots on the base that are light, so I'm just gonna touch them up. The top will be fine because by the time you stencil over it.
Hold on.
By the time you stencil over it, it won't matter.
So I'm just using these boards here so that I don't drill down into the table.
Jana says she can't keep up. Now she needs to paint a metal box. Now Jana says she needs to paint a metal box, a chair, and a clock.
Sorry.
Sorry, we do a lot of projects around here. When you have to make a lot of videos, you get a lot of projects done. I feel like YouTube keeps us on top of our hoarding situation because we need to always come up with content.
All right, can you guys see back to over there? Kinda. I'm gonna drop the tripod a little, so you might get a little shaking. All right, now we can see better.
Can I see it past you here?
Yep.
I'm just gonna go around the back. All right. All right, I don't know if you guys can see, there's a few streaks up here. So I'm just coming through and second coating it to make sure it's got full coverage. Like I said, the top might have a few streaks, but we're gonna stencil over it, so.
Let's see if I can do this without laying these chairs on their backs.
Oh, you know, you might have to bring the tripod up and down so they can see you stenciling.
Yeah, we'll see. Or I might put the stencils on the bench on the floor.
Oh yeah, that is a Positive. Looks like this chair has had a repair here. These benches.
That is hard to hold that bit tight like that.
If you guys saw our video.
That's a crazy angle.
If you guys saw, and I will be painting those, so don't worry. If you guys saw our video that we did the island, these chairs actually came with the turned legs that we put on our island, which is initially why we bought the whole set, was just for the legs. Because I think it was like $140 for the table and the chairs. And the legs alone were totally worth it because they're big and chunky.
All right, I don't know if you'll be able to see because this lip of the chair is going to be in the way, but I'm putting another brace like right up in here.
Yeah, I think you can see that on the camera.
Well, it's going to be a little high.
I thought the rush chairs that ended up with the lemon canvas came out amazing. They are cute. I haven't sold them yet, but sometimes it takes a little bit. They're like the lemons are kind of design specific, so. I will patiently wait. My last bar stools took about 4 months to sell, or maybe 3 months, and they just sold. It's funny though, because sometimes we'll sell like just smaller items, and all of a sudden in one weekend we'll sell a whole bunch of furniture, and then we're scrambling to fill the shop. Zeb, are you using an impact driver that has a shorter nose?
Yes, and I love it. It's what I use to drill screw all my screws in.
I don't even know what that means.
It'll
impact.
keep you, so. All right, so this is the difference between the two. This is like your traditional drill. It's got 2 speeds. This is an impact driver that'll actually ratchet down once it hits, and it has different settings, 1, 2, 3, and the drill setting. So if you don't want to split your wood or you're working with like real small screws, you can adjust that down, and it's amazing.
I can see some streaks back here.
All right, now I've got to put, man, I got to put a frog in my throat.
I had a frog in my throat too. What happened to us?
We're not talking enough. We're focusing on what we're doing.
Oh. Well, maybe I didn't talk enough before we went live. Wintertime is hard. I don't get up early, but I'm starting to get up a little bit earlier now that we're getting more daylight. I can tell spring's happening. All right, so you're gonna do the same thing on this front piece here? Just for
Yep, I'm gonna screw those in right now.
Okay.
Hopefully all goes well and I don't split any wood.
It would be. Somebody said if you get out in the garden, you could put like a what's it called, seat cover on it.
Yeah. All right, let me.
Sorry,
Can you wait to paint those? Because I'm gonna get paint all over me.
Yeah. You already do have paint all over you.
I know, it's like on my arm.
I hate to bring it to you.
All right, while I'm doing this though, can you hold the front closed like that for me?
Yep.
We got a little tension now that I've screwed the backs together.
I can do that and I can paint at the same time.
Oh man, look at you.
I know, multitasking.
That was easier because instead of pulling back on the drill, I was able to push forward and it went a lot better.
All right, I can let go now, yeah?
Yeah, they're tight together now.
Okay.
Are those tops dry enough?
Yeah, I already
Like
dried
they're
them. They're
still-
just greasy.
Oh,
They're water stains, actually. I think what happened is the finish wore off, and there's water stains.
Maybe we should shellac them and put another coat on there.
No. I think if we just stencil over it, it'll be busy enough that
It'll
we'll
hide it.
sand
What color
it.
are we gonna stencil?
White.
White? Okay.
This is my plan. So we're gonna stencil over it, and then we're gonna give it a good distress, and then I'm gonna white wax it.
Okay.
It's gonna be clear and white wax. Which, if it's gonna be in a garden,
Alright. You wanna paint that top one there?
do it.
Then I think we're good. We can start stenciling.
Yeah, you can go ahead and start stenciling while I finish this up.
I'm gonna move some stuff out of the way over here. And then we'll get the stencils going.
Or you touched the front of this, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't right. I had to grab it to get those together.
I can't tell, so you'll have to tell me if I've gotten these painted all the way. Gotten these? That's not even correct English. I guess I'll go around back. All right, I'm gonna come back to comments. Sorry, guys. I've been slacking on my comment duties. Okay. Let's see. Did I get my hormonal problem addressed? No, that's gonna take months. But I am feeling better. I'm not sick, so that is a benefit.
What white are we using? Do you have a white swan out, or?
Would you want to wax if it's going outside? If it's going outside where it's going to be in the sun and can melt, or like in a garden, no, but it'll be okay to be outside if put it in and out every day.
Yeah, it's only going outside right now because we're going to be keeping it
I
out
would
there.
say it'd even be good on a covered porch. It would be fine too. It kind of depends on the finish. Like for me, I wax a lot of the things I put on my front porch because if it ages or starts to chip over time, that's a patina that I like. If that's something you don't like, then you need to use an outdoor sealer.
Okay, we're going to pull way back. You can still see the unfinished projects we have over here. We got to get to that armoire, maybe Thursday's video.
Yeah, Maggie said that she would use, why are you going so far out?
I'm going to put the bench right down here.
Oh, Maggie said she used these as end tables.
Yeah, they could also be used as a short end table.
Yeah, they're kind of short.
They're about 17 inches tall. Pretty standard for chair height. All right, we're moving over here, guys, so I can get a crazy angle down so you can see the water stains Jamie's talking about better that way.
Heart Foundation said that she's in Ohio, and when she was in the craft store yesterday, the girl working started telling about our videos, and she's like, I've been watching you guys for years.
Awesome.
That's awesome. That's really fun.
Okay, so this is the one we decided on, right?
Belinda says she needs the table we work on. If you guys check out my stories, I shared a picture of it and tagged Molly, because she actually left this table here for us. She said she never liked it, and she messaged me back and was laughing so hard at like how hard used it's gotten.
Yeah, you might want to come sit over here so they can hear you good while I'm stenciling.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna come. Well, I guess I'll just go under the table.
Sneak under there. Okay, offload, we're using DIY and White Swan, and this is the JRV stencil brush number 20. It's great for large or all over stencils. And there's plus marks on the corners here, and I've just lined them up with the edge as
I think
best
they're
I
called
can.
register marks.
Register marks, they look like pluses. People will know when they get the stencil.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I'm gonna move myself a chair. I feel like it's gonna be a hot minute.
Yeah, this is gonna take a little while.
I could help you stencil, but I don't know if that would be helpful.
But it should really
want me to
come
help?
together cool. Sure.
All right.
We've got another
Are you
20 stencils.
unsure of my stenciling skills?
I haven't taped it, so I was trying to figure out how that would work.
Well, I'll just do the side closest to me. How about that?
That works.
Jana says she loves when somebody else watches JRB because it's like they're in a club, you know? I get excited when people watch and follow the YouTubers that I like too. I feel like there's like a connection because YouTube's a little bit different than traditional TV because it's content not made by big producers. It's just content made by regular people. So usually people watch channels because they associate or have similar like taste to the people that they're watching. So it's kind of fun. Whereas sometimes those big produced TV shows don't really have everything that you love. I used to love the Home and Garden channel, but I'm really tired of watching people flip houses. I would love
We're in the middle of a house flip and we'd rather not watch people do it.
I just wish they would bring back the home decor shows. They used to have like Design on a Dime and things like that, and it was super fun. I'm hoping this is busy enough to cover up all the...
I think it will be.
We'll find out.
If not, some magical distressing will do the trick.
Delphina was laughing at me going under the table. On most of my videos, this is like my muffin top showing here. Let me fix that. Most of the videos that you see us when we're live, I go under the table because things are in the way.
All right, now we're gonna move it. Okay, and then it just comes down right here.
Did you line it? You have to line it up properly.
I know.
And he's able to cover up this existing stencil because we use very little paint when we stencil. That is the key.
It's already almost dry.
It's already almost dry by the time we're done stenciling it. So if you have a problem when you're stenciling that the paint seeps underneath, you may need a better brush. We have the JRV stencil brushes at jamirayvintage.com, same place you get the paint and stencils. But you also need to make sure you're using very little. Can you see how dry that is? That's the kind of amount of dry that you're going to need. And you can tell that the green isn't completely dry because there's a little bit on my brush. But that's all right. That's why we use these mats. Somebody was telling me the other day the dollar store has similar mats too. We get ours at IKEA.
I think it was Chris.
Yeah, we use Chris de Rocher. Yeah, we used to use paper plates, but then we were going through a lot of them. And we try to be eco-friendly, even if we occasionally use Lysol wipes when we don't have any clean washcloths. All right, I can't reach any further than that. All right.
Okay, we'll get another one over here.
Belinda says, LOL, what muffin top? I can show you a muffin top. After 5 kids, my midsection ain't what it used to be, no matter how much I work out.
Okay.
All right, ta-da. We're gonna keep repeating this pattern. That's what these stencils are for, in case you ever were like, what are these tile stencils the Rays have? They're made for all over patterns. Laura says that brush and the JRV brushes changed everything in terms of stenciling. Yeah, it really did make a difference for me too, because I tried a lot of different stencil brushes, and these really are some of the best. When I worked, so they're made by Paint Pixie, makes them for me, and when we first started working with them, I told them, I don't want your traditional stencil brush. Like, I want something that's going to really work well, and I don't mind having a little bit of a higher price point to get a product that's really quality, because at the end of the day, if you're not better, it's really hard to compete with these big companies. Same things with my stencils. When I manufactured the stencils, my manufacturer said, how come you want to pay extra to make them super thick? And I was like, because if I'm not going to be better, how am I going to compete with these huge brands? Like, there has to be a reason that people use my products.
Well, and we use stuff to death.
Also,
and we
yes.
abuse it, and we don't wash it like we should. And
also, the people that, for the majority of people that follow us, they are doing this for a business, meaning they're not just using a stencil once or twice, they're using it like 50 times. It's got to hold up to that. All right, I'm going to check the comments here in a second. I'll let you finish that.
this is a lot of stenciling live. If it were an edited video, I would zoom through all of this.
That's all right. I can answer questions. Lori said, I'll pay more for a better product. Absolutely. So somebody said, what is the Heart Foundation talking about? Let's see. I stencil the mirror. What do I use to protect the stencil? So nothing, unless, or else you will get, like, it'll be distorted. However,
It'll get your mirror cloudy.
yeah, it'll get your mirror cloudy. However, I have in the past done, I've taken the paint and added a little bit of the DIY liquid patina to the paint, and then that adds a little bit of a sealing aspect to it, and that works. But if you've already stenciled it, you probably just need to leave it as is, and then just let whoever buys it know that they can only spot clean. They can't, like, wipe the whole mirror. So hopefully that makes sense. If you're really concerned, you might have to clean off all the paint and start over. There are some paints that don't wash off, but are harder to stencil with. Like an acrylic paint would probably be okay without sealing it, but acrylics, from what I've heard, I don't really use them, but I've heard that they are a little bit more difficult. So in the future, you might just try adding some DIY liquid patina to your paint, and that'll make it a little bit more durable. I always suggest people try stuff out. Do your own projects, wash it, see what happens, and then keep going.
Experiment on small things.
Experiment, experiment, experiment. Yeah. Mostly I don't stencil mirrors, I stencil windows, and people don't generally scrub their windows, they spot clean them. And after the paint dries really hard, after about 30 days, unless they're really going to town, they can take like a damp rag and go over it.
Let me sneeze.
We painted our front door with DIY paint, and we had at the farmhouse, and we've never sealed it, and
Still
it's
looks
fine.
good.
I mean, it's under a covered porch, but we've had a wet winter.
But it's in the sun.
Yeah, it's in the sun, and same thing with our back door that we painted with the kids.
People will be touching it.
Yeah, I mean, I say have to, but it's possible we won't even do it then. If it gets gross, I just repaint it. All right, let's see.
Okay.
cart says, thank you. What color is my door? My front door at the farmhouse is painted in little black dress. At here, my front door at the shop is actually painted. Where do you want me?
I'm just coming over this way since you're doing more comment answering.
Yeah. Oh, so you want me over this way? Sorry.
You were fine where you were at. I just needed to get by you.
I'm not picking up what you're throwing down, but that's all right.
All right.
Where are you
That's
going to put that?
have to probably go down on the floor or something.
Okay. Hold on. Whoa. I'll just move. I don't know where you want to put this. Do you want me to put it on the chair that I'm sitting on?
Yeah, that'd be great. All right.
What was I saying? I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, my door at the shop is painted in aviary with a transfer on it, and I did seal that with Big Top. But the door at the shop is covered and has a storm door. So it doesn't get sun and it doesn't get water because it's got a storm door on it. So it's actually held up really well because the transfers are not made to go into the sun. They will fade if you have a sunshiny door. But the paint will be fine. I figured I ought to use the paint on my doors because I know people are going to ask, and then I can tell them how mine have held up. Because it's not technically made to paint doors, but I hate regular paint. It's all sticky and gross. Yeah, that's probably just like water stains or something popping through there because it's dry.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to take some sandpaper and sand this side.
Okay.
So they can see it distressed. Do we have some 220 handy?
I think we're out of 220, but
All right,
we
I'm
do
going to
have.
carefully go under the
We do have some used ones over there.
All right. I feel like we go through 220.
How are you guys liking the all over stencil? Did we pick a good pattern?
I feel like the botanical is good. It's my thing. Oops, did I kick it? Sorry, guys. Let's see if we got any questions or comments. Apparently, we've had some trolls, but Ivy is on top of it.
Good job, Ivy.
Sorry, guys.
Seems like it happens every live video these days.
Ireland. Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm sorry. Zeb the Magician handles and touches very wet stenciling and never smears it.
Occasionally.
There's a little bit of smeared, but that's okay because we're going to distress it. So what's going to happen when we distress this is the pigment from this white will actually change the color of the base, which I don't mind because I like the look. If you were concerned about it, there's two things you could do. One is make sure that you seal your base coat first and blow the powder off. And two, then don't distress it at all. Those are your two options because the pigment will spread like this, but I like it because it gives it kind of an aged effect, so I work with it.
Hold on for just a second.
Sorry, is that?
You're shaking it all
I'm
over the
shaking
place.
it. I'll wait till you got it in place and you're holding it. Because you probably won't get the whole thing finished, but I want to kind of show them this one side.
I just don't think we'll get it sealed.
Well, I'm going to seal this one side.
Oh, okay.
It does get a little splotchy once it's sealed, but
Yeah, the wax until it evens out. We'll have some splotchiness till it dries.
super chat, Shelly D, #1 fan. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Shelly.
All right. This has a little bit of something on it, but I can at least use this to wipe this off. All right. Okay. I'm gonna go grab the wax. Now I gotta go back underneath here.
The paint's starting to dry on the top of the stencil from when I originally started. It's starting to stick to my fingers real bad.
I'm looking for clear wax too.
The clear wax might be over here on the table.
On the table?
Yep.
Okay. We don't have the most organized back room.
You know, got a lot better, and then we filled it up again. It's a vicious cycle.
That's just life, I think. Oh, another super chat. Keep it up. Thanks, Laurie.
Thank you.
And Terry says it looks beautiful. And Jenny says, love you guys. You inspire me and motivate me in every possible way. Until we put the pattern on the top, I thought it would look better as stools. The pattern makes all the difference and makes it look more like a bench. I think so too. It kind of gives it a cohesive look, huh? So I've got white wax here, the DIY. It has sealer in it, but I'm gonna white wax it and then I'm gonna rub it back and clear wax it. Don't worry, it's not gonna cover this up completely, but what I'm hoping it's gonna do is cover up some of those water stains and imperfections coming through.
Oh man, was that even dry over there?
Yeah, it's dry. I already sanded it. I distressed it already, sweetie.
Going rogue over there.
Oh, I forgot to ask you, Zeb, may I please white wax this?
You tell good jokes.
Ooh, that is soaking that up. I might need your muscles. I better be nice to you. Okay. Don't worry, never fear, clear wax is here.
So did you go white wax first and then you're going to clear wax over the
Yeah,
top?
because if you go clear wax, then white wax, sometimes it doesn't give enough coverage, and I really wanted an age look on it. So, see if I can pull off some of that
The clear
white
wax will definitely tone it back some.
We'll see. We're about to find out. I think I just made it look lighter.
Well, when you wipe it off, there you go.
There we go. I'm using the clear wax kind of like an eraser. Now, if I was using dark wax, I would never go straight dark wax. I always do 2 coats of clear and then dark wax. And even then, I'm careful to rub back right away because dark wax.
All right, stop moving the bench though.
What? Am I moving it?
Shaking it all over.
Am I causing you problems? Well, the thing is, I got to do this while it's wet, otherwise I won't be able to smear it. All right, I need a little bit more clear right here. All right, I'll let you finish and then I'll finish.
I'm almost done. I got like a little corner over here. It was like I was trying to stencil out on like the ocean.
I'm trying to, like, we always say you're the stencil king, but like, how good really are you?
You're trying to up my game.
I'm upping your game. Like, you can stencil while it's shaking. Do I ship to the United Kingdom? Yes, we do. Every week we ship all over the place. And we do ship to New Zealand for stencils and stuff. If you're ordering just stencils and you need help with the shipping, you can also email customer care at jamirayvintage.com.
Yeah, because it.
Sometimes when you're ordering just stencil, the shipping isn't calculated quite right. Because, anyways, it's a long story. But if you ever have a problem, you can always email customer care at jamirayvintage.com. Now, if you're ordering stencils and paint and a bunch of other stuff, the shipping is correct. All right, can I?
Oh, I must have missed that down here when I did that other piece.
Now, you guys might have liked it without white wax, but here's the thing. This piece is like super splotchy and water stained, and the white wax, it hides a lot of imperfections. So it's kind of necessary in this case.
I did. I totally missed this whole section down here.
All right, well, I'll stop now. So this is what the finished project will look like. And when Zeb's done stenciling, we'll show you what it looks like. And once this wax cures, it will not be quite as dark.
Here, we got time. You can put it on there real quick. We got 6 minutes.
Put it on where?
You can finish waxing.
But I wanted to show them the difference between a waxed aviary versus the, can you guys see the dark? I guess I can see.
Yeah, they can see it right there.
All right, here.
All right, we're going to bring this back up now that they've seen all the steps.
Well, what are we going to do while they're...
I'm going to bring that up too.
Well, they won't be able to see me distress that, but okay.
What are you going to distress?
The other side, so I can finish it?
Yeah, it'll show.
Okay.
Or are you worried you're going to be too short? I'll help you.
I'm not going to be tall enough, I can tell you that right now.
I'll help you out.
I wish I was a little.
I can't kneel down anymore right now.
You're too old for that?
Well, the gravel moving really just took its toll for the last couple days.
Yeah,
like I'm worn out. Moved like between the three of us, Harrington and Jamie and I, moved like 13,000 pounds of gravel by hand with a shovel and a wheelbarrow.
I realized I'm not as young as I used to be. But I don't feel like there's any permanent damage done. I'm just tired and sore. All right.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can get this taller.
Lori says that she's in Maricopa, Arizona. Where's
Oh.
Maricopa? Is that
Phoenix area.
yeah, but what part of Phoenix? Is it over by like between Phoenix and Tucson?
The whole thing is like in Maricopa County.
I know, but there's a city.
All right.
Lori says she loves the wax.
Distressing this, right? See, I got a little wobble. I'll have to.
Well,
fix
it's
that.
also because some of these have those little like
The little
belt
tabs.
tabs and some of them don't, so we'll just change that up.
How much did you distress this?
I don't know, not a ton. Mostly just to distress the white and then around these edges here.
What'd you wipe it off with?
This rag. Make sure you distress the edges. That's kind of the most important part. Now, if I were doing this not live video, I wouldn't have waxed half and then waxed the other half. But that's all right. And the base has still got some wet spots, so we'll let that dry completely. And then we'll do the same procedure that we did on the top. We'll just distress it and then white wax and clear wax. Probably work in sections so we can wipe it off. Zeb gave me the move in front of the camera.
Get in front of the camera
now
signal.
move your wings. You
She's
gotta
like
walk.
talking from the side over there. All right, let me the white
I don't need to
wax.
see me to hear me. All right, what do you want?
White wax brush. We're using
Ours is
one
the
brush
same
for
one.
both.
Same
One
one.
brush for both. All right.
Ain't nobody. Well, everybody knows I wax almost everything. In fact, if I don't want white wax on my piece, I have to go clean a wax brush out because they all have white wax on them. Carolyn says aviary is the prettiest green.
It is a fun one. I like it a lot.
Was that white paint dry? Yes.
Yep, it's dried.
Because so when we apply our stencils, our brush, we do a dry brush technique. I think I already showed this, but like, see how very little paint there is on that? It's almost completely dry when we stencil it, so it doesn't take long at all. Gotta be careful, you want it all the way dry before you distress it. Teresa says, do as you say, not as you do. Yeah. Like, I know sometimes when I do things I shouldn't what the possible outcome is, and I take that risk knowingly. Would liquid patina be dark enough to cover and disguise things like watermarks on wood? If I did a few coats, are you talking about the dark and decrepit? Yeah, I think so. It really depends on the piece. I've used it, the more coats you do, the darker it gets. But if it's in the dry wood, those may come through. So you might have to shellac them and then put that on top. So it kind of just depends on what the situation is. Oh, there's a grandfather clock in Provo at a place called Get Thrifty.
Oh. I don't think I've ever been into that shop.
But I just called and they said that it was $100. It's huge and very nice. I'll have to check it out. Let's see. What do you wash your wax brush with? So normally I use the Paint Pixie soap, but first I soak it in very, very warm water. And then I'll use like Dawn because that's a degreaser. And then once I've got most of the wax out, I condition it with Paint Pixie soap. All right.
So there we have it.
I think that's great. And because it's a bench, like stenciling the top, that's what the majority of people will see. So that's a really great look. And because we're gonna white wax the base, it won't, right now, I feel like there's a huge like contrast between the base and the top. But once we white wax this, it's gonna tie that entire look together.
Yeah. We'll get the rest of this sanded, white waxed, and clear waxed, and we're not going to do any more stenciling on it, just on the top.
Yeah, I would say essentially after we take out the table and the actual chairs that weren't broken, these probably cost us about $5 out of the whole deal because we bought it together. And this bench will sell for probably somewhere around $75-ish.
Yeah, because we usually sell a chair for what, about 35 to 45, depending on the style.
Yeah, sometimes between 40 and 50. So yeah, this sell for about $75. All right. Let's see if we have any. Did you price the wall clocks? Yeah. So this one is, what did I say? 60, and that one's 50.
I don't remember.
But shipping them, especially this one, would be really cost prohibitive because it's huge and we need a very big box and lots of packing material. So it would cost probably the same amount to ship them.
All right, guys. Don't forget to go to JamiRayVintage.com for all your stuff.
Oh, Tony says she's going to be here on Friday from Alabama. We can't guarantee that we're always here, but if you come by, and you don't see us out front, definitely ask if we're in the back, and we're happy to come out and say hi. Sometimes we're here, and sometimes we're off with the kids.
Depends on where we're filming and what we're doing and who we're chasing around.
All right, love you guys. Don't forget to hit up JamiRayVintage.com for the paint and products. You could also check out jrvwholesale.com if you want to try to find a stencil retailer next to you. Remember, they don't always carry every stencil, so if there's one you want specifically and you find a retailer, definitely contact them and see either if they have it in stock or if they can get it in for you. Bye, guys.
All right, we'll catch you guys later.
Give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Jami Ray Vintage for more
DIY.
Bye, guys. I think this